I read 47 books on money. Here's what will make you rich. So you probably don't have time to read those 47 books, okay? Because life is so busy now and it seems like it's becoming busier and busier, but you do want to learn how to get rich. So here's the lessons from all those 47 books that I've deciphered into 4 simple lessons that you can follow succinctly to build your wealth, okay? The very first lesson is mastering your mindset. Because if you don't have mastery of your mindset, you're gonna find it hard to get to the first goal, which is actually to build your first $100,000. Charlie Munger, who's Warren Buffett's business partner, says the first 100,000 is a BITCH. It's very hard. So you do have to make sure you've mastered your mindset to be able to get to there. What does that mean? It means you've got to manage your behavior. It means you've got to have a simple understanding of money, all right? Thankfully, it's only at a grade 2 level of math, all right? You don't have to be a numbers genius to be great with money, but you have to have your behavior sorted. So there's some simple principles that you want to follow to get to your first 100,000. The very first thing you have to do is you have to be able to spend less than you earn, okay? Every money book I've read makes this the very first principle. You cannot outspend your income if you want to get to your first 100,000, all right? So you've got to manage your behavior to bring down your costs and be able to increase your income, which means putting things in place or spending a lot of time today, this week, and so forth, spending time doing things that actually make you money and spending less time on things that take your money, all right? So you can put things in place like doing your financial audit every month, all right? That's like having a shower for your financial health, doing it every single month. It means having 2 jobs instead of 1, or having some sort of side gig to improve your income, all right? And of course, managing your dopamine levels so you don't go and use money to spend it on clothes or cars or things like that. They're gonna try and elevate your social status, all right? So that's why step 1 of the 47 books I've read, they all talk about making sure your mindset is good with money. But it also does include understanding that money is not the root of evil, okay? It can be that the love of money for the wrong reasons can be, but it's actually making sure that your relationship with money is 10 out of 10. What does that mean? It means you doing some research and understanding that money success comes from what you do in the roots. If you change the roots, you change the fruits, okay? So it's understanding that rich people are not evil. They're actually very much givers, okay? People who are broke tend to be very selfish. That's why they're just trying to accumulate money and spend it on themselves, all right? So these types of paradigms that you learned growing up in Disney films, in movies about rich people are nasty and so forth, if you dig deeper, you'll find it's actually the opposite, all right? So it's important you get these old paradigms and old stories you're telling yourself about money fixed as soon as possible, because if you can't do that, you are going to find it difficult to move on to the other stages of wealth, all right? So when it comes to the first lesson of all of those books that I've read, it's definitely mastering your mindset and mastering your behavior, okay? Because money is actually a byproduct of those things. Certainly your first 100,000 is a byproduct of those things. And if you can't save your first 5 or 10,000, you are going to find it hard to get to 100, okay? You've got to change your behavior. Who you hang around, what things you do with your day, how you're actually approaching money, are you focused on it? They are the things that matter the most, including making sure that you're doing an audit every month and you're paying yourself some of the money you earn for your future self, all right? Doesn't matter what books you read on money, if you can't do those simple things, okay? If you read all those books, that's what they'll talk about first, because without it, you can't move to the next step, okay? So what is the next step? Well, the second thing I learned out of reading all those books is that you do have to get good at a specific skill. You've got to learn high income, high profit, specialized skills that people will pay you for, because making money is a really important, it's the most important part of wealth creation. Dave Ramsey says that your income is your #1 wealth creation tool. And that includes you not just having to pray for money or beg for money or look for money, but actually create it by applying these high value skills that you've taken time to learn. The reason why people don't do this second stage of the wealth journey is because they're looking for fast money. But you have to put the effort in and the investment of your time, and it's gonna be frustrating to learn these high income skills. But if you do it, it's where you can exchange those skills and someone will give you money in return. That's how income is created. It's how you can take your high profit skills you've taught yourself over periods of time through frustratingly going through the reps, and it's taking them and helping someone solve a problem. When you do that, you will actually get paid, and that's how you actually make money, okay? And this will take you, if you focus on developing skills around things that can solve problems for people and they'll pay you money for, This is what will get you from 100,000 to a million, okay? So when I first made my first 100,000, that was quite challenging, but it wasn't as hard as getting from 100,000 to a million. How did I do it? I spent years getting good at financial acumen and financial IQ and increasing my ability to learn about investing. Okay, that was a high knowledge base and a high skill set to actually deploy capital and buy assets, okay? So I spent a lot of time learning about property investing. I was selling property and leasing when I was 20, got my full real estate license, spent a lot of time sitting around learning that stuff, and they're out there in the field learning that stuff. 1 hour in the field is worth 20 hours in the office or in the books, okay? And then I learned about how to deploy that cash into shares. I read, of course, all those 47 books too, which took a lot of time. And when I read those, it was about, okay, how can I take this knowledge that I'm learning and deploy it? How can I teach other people this too? So it's about not just learning the knowledge. People they enjoy learning, and you may do too, but if you can't deploy it to the marketplace and give it to someone else and get money from them in return for that skill, then you're not going to get to your first million, okay? Some of the other skills that I worked at to get to my first million were marketing, selling. I remember doing sales presentation after sales presentation and not making any money because I was crafting a skill set. So when you're crafting a skill set, you actually don't make a lot of money, okay? This is why people are like, oh, why? Where's money? I've done this and I've done this and I can't see the money. That's because you're crafting and perfecting your skill. When you get good at it, the money will start to come in, okay? So you have to give yourself time and patience to develop the skills. So I did sales, I was doing marketing, okay? And in my network marketing business, I was able to take those skills and apply them to the marketplace and learn a lot faster than even just reading books. And so it is a combination of reading for sure, but applying, okay? So marketing was a good skill that I worked on. I worked on selling, okay? And I just did it. I did reps time and time again. I didn't always make money from the experience, but it allowed me to increase my skills in selling, okay? So marketing, selling, public speaking. I went to Toastmasters International Club every single fortnight for a number of years to learn how to public speak and communicate orally and give feedback and hold a room, okay? I went to a lot of personal development events that helped me unpack my ego and what I thought about myself, so I didn't care what people thought about me as well, okay? So public speaking, marketing, selling, writing, okay? The only way to get better at writing is to write. So I would always write on my Facebook and do posts and learn from others. And I refined this copywriting skill over time. And of course, all these skills, the skill about investing that I read and learned through doing my CFA charter and really applied myself there and took the knowledge and applied it to buying shares and experiencing that and getting paid passive income. That was a great high income skill. Then I did the same thing with marketing, selling, and public speaking, and I applied them as well as writing to the marketplace, and I got feedback. I wasn't very good when I started, but I got feedback from the marketplace, and then I refined those skills. And now I get paid to speak. I just got paid, was it 5 figures to go and deliver a talk, and I got paid my flights, and I got paid the accommodation, and I got paid money to go and do that. So that's a high income skill, okay? I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars speaking, and of course I've made millions of dollars in the marketing and selling and copywriting space. Just the other day, I did a post that generated about 350 leads organically just for myself to go and then speak and sell at the same time. That will improve and increase one of our businesses. So I'm always learning, refining through mistake making, and then taking that on, improving and deploying that. And that's what's be able to make us money, okay? So those are the types of skills that you do want to get good at, but it's not going to be smooth, it's not going to be simple, it's not going to be easy. But you've got to make sure if you do what others won't, then you'll get what others don't have, okay? And that is skills. And skills come before bills, all right? And that's how you get from 100,000 to your first million. It's actually creating that really specialized skill and deploying it and getting paid. That's what makes money, okay? The third stage of your wealth journey to go from $1 million to 10 million, okay? From all the 47 books that I've read, it's all about actually being able to then lead teams, okay? So from us in one of our businesses, we couldn't move to that multi-million-dollar stage until we deployed or created a team. Now we have a team of about 60 to 100, depending on the season, of consultants in the field who we're teaching and leading and mentoring. And so the next stage of the journey is to actually develop leadership skills, okay? And influence, being able to influence a group of people on a mission to achieve the things they want to achieve, okay? Now that is also something you have to work at. And how does it begin? Well, for me personally, it began with me leading a team of 2, okay? Of course, in the books that you read, the 47 books I read, they all talk about how you got to lead yourself first. You definitely have to lead yourself first, okay? Especially in those first two stages. But once you can lead yourself well, it is about leading others. And so too many people are trying to lead big groups before they lead small groups. So what I would suggest you do is, yes, you have to develop leadership skills. Yes, you have to develop influence, but do it just with two people, okay? Do it with two. That's how I started. I was like, I'll lead these two and we have a team, and I have influence over these two people to help them on their mission to create more value in their life and other people's lives and help them earn income and make money, okay? So that's how leadership really begins. It doesn't begin with you on stage, leading a whole audience, leading an army, okay? It does get to that, but you wanna start at the very base of just leading one or two other people, okay? That's how influence begins. And so influence is an application of certain principles, and you'll learn them by actually seeing what works and what doesn't when you're trying to influence other people, okay? And so it does begin with a small group and then it builds up from there. But it's so important, because if you can't lead people, you can't influence them, then getting from 1 million to 10 million is very challenging, because you can't do that journey alone. You can get to 1 million alone, just almost alone you can get there, right? But realistically, you can't get to 10 million alone. Success is a team sport, which means you've got to get along with others. You have to be able to collaborate, you have to be able to paint a vision, you have to be able to encourage, you have to be able to show a path and teach skills, and you need to give them the things that they're seeking so that they can go off and build a business, and it also benefits you too. And this is how your first 10 million is made. It's made with other people. And so one of the most important things is, you'll find that, of course, when you have money, it can make money, but when you have influence, you can actually influence people to go and make a ton of money with you. And that is critical, okay? Because you can't do it alone. You don't want to do it alone. And if you can make a lot of people rich, you will get very, very rich yourself. So don't be surprised along the journey if you make other people wealthy too. This is how the success game works. You have to be okay with that. That's why step one is to get your mindset right, because if that's not right, you're going to get selfish. You're going to think that you can do it all alone. You don't want to, you think your success means they fail. It's not how it works. When you succeed, they succeed, okay? So you have to have influence over them, because you do want to be able to build teams. You want to be able to develop a team to do things you don't want to do. You want to develop teams to be able to execute a specialized area that you can't do. You want to be able to build teams to go off and take your business to the next level and scale it. And you cannot do that by yourself, all right? So it's the stage of 1 million to 10 million that requires leadership and influence. But remember, it starts off with a very, very, very small amount of people, and it grows over time, okay? And you get to refine your skills along the journey. So start with yourself and then start with two, okay? So the final stage of all these 47 books I've read is that no matter what happens in your wealth journey, you can only really stay wealthy and have true financial independence, and a lot of people call it freedom, but I say true independence that is unbreakable, and that's taking a large piece of those profits you're creating from all these stages and getting it and actually diversifying away from you into assets that have nothing to do with you. What does that mean? It means buying real estate assets or pieces of companies or other businesses that can run and do things without you and without your involvement, and print money for you on autopilot so you can actually make money while you sleep for the rest of your life. Robert Kiyosaki, out of one of these books, says the definition of wealth is actually how many days you can live for at your current lifestyle without you working another day in your life, okay? So if that's the case, how many assets do you own? How many assets do you own? So out of all the 47 books on money that I've read, everybody talks about buying assets that are outside your core business. So you have multiple income streams and you have an ability to stay rich, not just get rich. And that's how you can then scale your wealth beyond 10 million, 100 million, billion, so forth. The people that are billionaires, they do it, of course, through these stages, but they are really now in a position where they're just buying assets, buying assets, buying assets. And I think of people like Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger, all the big investing gurus. They're either, building big companies, but they're really also buying assets, okay? Including the likes of Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. I mean, Elon just purchased Twitter, right? He's buying assets. And Jeff Bezos has bought multiple companies with Amazon. Mark Zuckerberg bought Instagram. I think he bought Instagram for like $1 billion. It's now worth 20 or 30 or 40, a lot of money. So he did the same thing with WhatsApp. So he's looking to buy assets, not always create them himself. And you can do the same thing on a smaller scale, okay? So make sure on the journey of creating wealth, you definitely have to get your mindset right. Step one, you definitely have to specialize or develop high profit skills, which is frustrating and time consuming. That's why people don't do it, but you have to do that to get to your first million. That's how you make money. The third step is you can't do it alone. You have to develop influence and leadership to bring people on your mission with you to scale up and get to your 10 million mark. And beyond that, you have to understand the basics around investing principles, which aren't that difficult, to be able to take some of that cash and deploy it and buy assets, whether it's buying businesses, buying real estate, buying pieces of public companies through shares. You have to diversify your money making away from your core income, all right? And they're the 4 stages that you need to go through that I've learned from all of those 47 books, okay? So I hope that makes sense. I hope it gives you a clear path of what to do when it comes to going through the 4 stages of wealth creation. So you don't have to go and read all of those 47 books. I hope that gives you a framework to at least start with, okay? And if you've enjoyed that, then I've made a ton more videos on being able to make money, manage your time better, and success. But don't click on the next one yet. Please hit the subscribe button so you can see all the videos that come about how you can start making money and living a more successful life.